Is the smart service topic interesting for us? If we look back the last 20 years, then we have seen digital transformation in some of the branches, especially non-material goods like music, like pictures whatsoever, but also logistics was a big topic, finance sector was a big topic. Today we have other platforms that are arising or are already big. Some of them should maybe already belong to yesterday, but anyway, this is the floating time scale, and we have a glimpse of what will be happening in the next 25 years, although we cannot foresee the future, but we know, for example, that there will be a lot of things going on in the area of autonomous vehicles. There will be a lot going on in the area of production and also in the area of building automation. And all these sectors are very relevant for German industry and the German economics. I will come to this point, to this platform economy later, but you see why this is so relevant to us. So the ministry has set up a research program with a funding budget of 50 million. I think the complete budget is something between 85 and 90 million, including the money that comes from the industry. We had a call for tenders in 2014. We selected 16 projects. I will present some of them, and 2 of them will be presented a little bit later. And the main application areas in this call were smart production. I think we have 7 out of these 16 projects, 7 are from the production area. Then we have smart mobility, traffic and logistics. And we have a category with everything in it, smart services for everyday life. This is about health, it's about home automation, about water management and more. So far, unfortunately, we don't have any English information in English language, but I will push it, so we have it soon. So the concept for this program was prepared by Architect, the German National Academy of Sciences and Engineering. They said in the long run, good products will not be sufficient to stay competitive. Smart services will be fundamentally change the traditional business models of German economy and lead to a major paradigm shift. So we will see new business models, for example, smart products will be complemented by services, but also we will see more and more products that will be sold as a service. So you don't buy it anymore, you hire it, you rent it, you lease it, whatsoever. And given this, we will also see new ecosystems, and Architect says business must get ready to cooperate and to adapt their portfolios. And also, we will see new platform businesses, as I said before. We will see those platform businesses, and they will control the access to markets. And that's actually a great danger if we don't react. So the objective of this research program is to develop reference applications that support the digital transformation of the economy. You see a simple architecture picture that we have in many systems that are appearing now or are developed now. They consist of so-called cyber-physical systems. They consist of data platforms and service platforms. So, and here we have some examples that have just started. These projects are just about to organize themselves. Some are half a year old, some are starting nowadays. The first example that I want to show is called Service Factory. It is a project run by Adidas. It is not the only one that Adidas runs in this area. Adidas is very active in building up their own platforms and new technologies. And their aim is actually to get back the production to Europe, at least that's what they claim. because with all the automation features that they can have now, they will not need to build or to run factories abroad. They can do it at home, and they will save on logistics. And also, here they get a personnel to produce personalized products, and that's what they want to do. The outcome of this project is hopefully a multi-level platform with open APIs. So this is industry, and they want to build open APIs that allow for a broad SME cooperation. So this is about building up an ecosystem.
Will they use 3D printers to produce their parts?
No, not really. They, but what they will do is they want to put simple. They would want to put sensors within their sport shoes, and they want to measure the usage of these sport shoes. So, and from time to time, when the user buys a new pair of shoes, this pair of shoes will be approved according to his foot and to his walking behavior. So they want to collect usage information that can be potentially used for optimization of the product development, also for the optimization of the production itself, and also for the logistic processes. So they will know when the shoe is run down, and they will offer the client or the customer, why don't you buy a new pair of shoes? Because yours is obviously has been running 2,000 kilometers or whatsoever. Buy a new one. So, modular and standardized platform architecture will allow a broad participation of technology providers and data users. So that's what they want to do, open up. This is the second example that I really like. It is about smart farming. The project is also called Smart Farming, and actually these farming machines, they are, in the meantime, they are full with sensors and intelligence. Especially those of class who is running the consortium in this project. They want to create added value services according to the needs of the farmer, so it's also a personalization project, and they also want to reach a high degree of work automation. And how do they want to do it? They want to build up a service platform that connects all kinds of agriculturist machines. So their own machines, but also from other companies that are maybe in the same area or in different areas. So what they also want to do is a certification program. So if your farming product fits to that platform, you will get a certificate, and everything will build up on API standards to assure a reliable and secure data exchange. And then there's also service orchestration in order to have an ongoing data-driven process automation and information management in the farming area. So they really want, or the intention is to build up a big farming platform that can be sold all around the world. Another project that I really like is Max. Maybe you know it because it's run by the Charité. It is supposed to improve doctor-patient communication for a special kind of patients, especially those with the kidney diseases, so dialysis patients and after kidney transplantation. The idea is to build up a health service platform. That's something that has been tried in Germany a couple of times, but it never worked out. So this time we thought the time is right, we should try it, we should do it. We should build up such a health service platform, and it will also provide core services for patients, doctors and other stakeholders. So there will be an exchange of data, and there will be a therapy plan monitoring, and for this special kind of patients, diaries are of high importance. So and this will be digitized, so they have the diary as you see here on the mobile phone, and it will be automatically transmitted to the doctor. And this changes tremendously the communication between the patient and the doctor, because the doctor doesn't get the information only when the patient comes to see him, but he gets it continuously. So, what is needed? Of course, a prototypical security and authorization project concept. Here we have the topic of privacy that we have heard of yesterday. This is very important in this project. Of course, also the data security officials are involved in this project. We need communication technologies that detect changes in health status, so we can really monitor and we can detect dangerous situations. Then we also want to use this to help SAP to even build up a better HANA platform. And what is also interesting is the concept of a data custodian. So something that really provides trust, which will be provided by the Charité. So also this has the objective to go beyond our own borders and provide this service maybe in all over Germany or even more.
What are the other partners? Oh, sorry. What are the other partners?
DFKI, Mattauch in Berlin, and some SMEs, technology providers.
Provide the sensors, because which partner provides the sensors? These smartphone.
They're
all already in the smartphone.
Yeah, and then you have you have these I don't know the name of the Waage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, everything you can measure blood pressure, your weight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the idea is also we have a second health market now, and we have many products on the second health market. So why don't we use these products on the second health market to get data for the first health market? That's the idea.
Sorry, by data custodian you mean a independent third party that ensures the data security?
Yes.
Not from Charité.
Yes, the Charité will want to act as in this role. Because it's one of the largest and most well-known German hospitals.
Yeah, I know it, but I'm wondering, isn't the Charité already supposed to ensure the patients' data?
Yes, but for their own patients and for the data that they gather on their own. But this is also for the data that are gathered by third-party devices, and it's also for the data that would be given by other hospitals to them. So you see, it's an enlargement of the business model. Now, CABEX, I think we had such an example already also in this summer school. This is about gathering data from streets. So where are holes in the streets? Where are missing road markings? Where can we detect abnormal traffic signs that wouldn't belong here? So this is also a project that goes in the direction of autonomous driving a little bit. And it's also a project with the objective to build up a data platform for cars. So also a project about privacy, as we have heard yesterday. And the idea is to overcome the principle of data austerity, because data austerity, in their view, is dysfunctional. If you want to make analysis on the data, you need a lot of data, and if you follow the principle of data austerity, you cannot get much results. So how do you do that? How can you provide privacy and at the same time collect a lot of data and use them? That will be one of the major topics, research topics in this project. And then we have a project that is caring about water management, but water management is basically an example. It is for efficient planning and operation processes in municipal infrastructures as a whole. So water management maybe in Berlin is not the most important thing, because we have a lot of water, but there are many places in the world where water management is critical. And it is worldwide an important topic. And with this project, they want to build up a platform for taking care of water management and other operation processes in cities. So, interestingly here, they want to provide different solutions for different legal situations. So maybe in one country or in one area, you can provide the data in the cloud, and in other countries you cannot. And so they prepare for this situation and want to have the same solution on different infrastructures. I will not say anything about smart orchestra because we will hear about it later. It's a lot about open source technologies that come together, and what looks here, I hope you cannot read it, what looks here like a technical architecture is indeed something that has to do about roles and business models in different roles. And you see we get a high complexity how this business is distributed and will be run. So all of these projects have a certain have things in common. We have a data layer, we have a technology infrastructure, and we have a kind of network or marketplace or community. And in this technology stack, we have a number of services that run the technology infrastructure, and this we have in control. We can control this, but here we open it up. We open it up to other consumers and to other producers. We connect systems, we connect technology providers, and we want to have a broad basis of sensors, actors, cameras, machines, whatsoever. Also the internet. Everything should be connected with everything, and there is a big, of course, also a big problem in this wish. And to make it even more complicated, we have these architectures and these systems. In all of the verticals, they are starting to build them up. Some are faster, some are slower. And now we have already a different objective to put the user at the center. So we need some additional infrastructure, some additional platform where we can realize these data-driven business models and that connect all these verticals and data out of these verticals. Some people think that's realistic, some people think it's not so much realistic, and maybe it will work in some areas, in others it will work not so much, but we will see a convergence of different industries and people that have to work together, although they come from. And that's maybe what we call the platform economy. This is a buzzword. It's maybe one of the latest buzzwords, but it's, I have learned it's also an old topic. Some of the publications that are shown here are pretty new. For example, the Platform Revolution is from this year. It has been written by some people from MIT. But is it more than a buzzword? I think yes. It will affect the situation of jobs. And if you look at this picture, then you will basically see we will lose a lot of jobs in some professions that have really professional workers, and we will win some less new jobs in the ICT area. But something is wrong with this picture. I think this picture is a lie. And why do I think this? Because it's not the same areas, and that is shown on the next one. if you look at this picture, then you see that Asia actually has the most platforms, and Europe has maybe 4%, has only a few platforms. But the most money with platforms is made in the United States. So who will lose the jobs and who will win the market share? This is a question, we don't know it yet, but it looks pretty much like this will not be the same continents. And that's the reason why we need to do it. So what is happening here? The business models change, and they change from a linear, maybe really controllable line of pipes to networks. We have consumers that are not the customers anymore because they don't pay for what they get. We have multiple customers, we have also multiple consumers, and we will also have multiple producers in a very complex network. Then there's plug and play. We are getting promised. We want to switch from one partner to another partner. We are opening up the castles of the systems, night castles. This was my analogy that I had. So far the systems, or some parts of the systems at least, are night castles and they are defended with everything you have. But now everybody is talking about low entry barriers. But this is a completely new paradigm that's coming. And then this book says interaction is key. The core role of the platform business is to enable interaction. And that's what we hear every day in the news. Facebook is so good because there are so many people on Facebook. It's not so good because the technology is so brilliant. So you see that here. You have here, and this is maybe a little bit provoking, that service platforms are not about technology. They are about building up a big data volume, and they are about building up a big community. And you see it in this comparison. Here you have the same with another example. You see that Flickr, that the technology infrastructure of Flickr is even larger than the one of Facebook. But the community, the amount of community and data is a lot bigger than Flickr. So, and the question on the community level is who is creating the value and who is paying for that value? How can we create incentives that people get repeatedly on my platform, that they really want it, that they really want to pay for it, maybe? And then on the technology level, of course, is it performant, is it robust, is it safe? Otherwise, if it's not safe, then people will leave the platform, or if it's not robust. And then on the data level, how to access new data providers, new sources. We see that often. That's also a problem for German research. We want to build the technology, but we don't have the data to test it. So we have the platform. This is an important part. But also we have the value. And what is this value? And what I thought is this value are the services. So services must meet the demands and the needs of the customer. Service quality and user experience is very important. Also the automation degree and the cost reduction is important for the businesses. And of course time and effort that I have to put into this platform, and if I feel safe. These are the things that are about services that add the value to the platform. So I think I will skip this. This is only that we see a number of different platform types and come to the end. I think that smart services technologies are becoming the foundation of more and more economic fields. I think we can see that now, fields and branches. We will get additional business with product-related services, and we will also get new business models. We will get services instead of products, and we will get completely new services that we don't know about today. So there are a number of relevant areas in the German economics, such as machinery, car production, but also others, biochemistry, farming. And not only in production, but all kind of other societal activities, we will be able to use these kind of technologies. Then we should be aware that Europe is threatened to lose market leadership in these areas if we are not getting into the technology ourselves. We need to develop our own services and our own platform strategies, because we cannot think that Amazon and Uber will be the end and that's it now and everything stays as it is. I would claim that Amazon and Uber are only the beginning. So, and then, but on the other hand, we also have great chances, because we know a lot about these fields. We know a lot about these verticals, and this is our great chance to strengthen our market position if we understand and use these mechanisms of service and platform economy. So that's it, basically. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your interesting talk. Now questions.
What the problem with platforms is that in each domain you only have 2 or 3 platforms, like in YouTube, Spotify and iTunes. What is your thought about that? Because only very few platforms, 1 or 2 or 3 per domain will remain. How can we make business out of it? And even the platform owners like Apple and Amazon, they don't pay taxes at all, right? So yeah.
So and these are ecosystems. They are conglomerates. It's not single companies anymore. Maybe in some cases it is, but Amazon would be nothing without the huge amount of SMEs that are selling on this platform.
Correct.
So we have concurring ecosystems now, and I think the only chance that we have is to build our own ecosystems with the local players. We have to build the trust on our own legal basements. That is the way we need to go. We need to build European platforms. I don't know if they are technically very different from American platforms. So maybe they are technically almost the same, but we need our own marketing and stuff like that.
Okay. It was an excellent talk. Thank you very much. I would like to ask you 2 questions. The first question is related to the business economic related issues. It seems that this domain has a lot of interesting net economic issues, and since here we have a lot of students, I would like to ask you if you could formulate an interesting economic related, computer science but also economic related question in this domain of platform and services. This is the first part of my question, and then I have a second one.
If I could
if you could perhaps highlight, indicate an important research related issue in this domain of platforms, but from the perspective of economics. You mentioned that the traditional linear models are not appropriate anymore.
I think these are the questions that need to be solved. If I have a certain technology, who will use this technology and create value with it? Who will be these people? Is it only a small amount of freaks, or is it us all? And who will pay for it? If nobody will ever pay for it, forget it. Yeah? And then, of course, here in the middle you have the more technical questions, but up there, everything that has to do with building up the community, and also everything that has to do with building up a data network. These are economic questions that are very important in this area to solve.
Do you also envision kind of like coalitions among different service providers?
Yes, of course. because they will specialize. For example, there will be a platform provider for security technologies. And so other technology solutions, they don't need to care anymore. They will use this as a building block for their own solution.
What I understand from this, or what I can see here, is this is just social platforms, right?
Yes.
And I would say that maybe also technology for the platform will be different in production areas. Yeah. And there is no available production platform, not available at all, not at Google, not at Facebook. Yeah. So I guess this is still an open issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it will be a social platform. So if you are Mercedes-Benz and you want to use the data in order to sell the next car, because you know,
well, of course,
then you will have to build up the community.
I think
my point, yeah.
In plants, we are missing a platform for plants to run machines,
okay.
right, and so on. Yeah?
This is easily said because we care about this in our other program. We do this in the autonomics
space.
In these projects.
Okay.
That's where we work on these topics.
But when I look to some companies in the Stuttgart area, they are not so active in the platform issue.
And actually,
they are at the moment looking more into what services, social services, they bring into the car, which is, from my point of view, not the issue. Yeah.
We have actually two big platform projects in this new phase 3 program PACE. One is about network infrastructures in plants and between plants.
Yeah.
And the other one is about robotics.
Yeah.
Modular robotics. KUKA is part of it, but
with Chinese.
yes.
Yeah. So.
But we want to be this an SME.
Open.
No, actually, it's basically an SME consortium with a multitude of players, and they want to build a more modular robotics platform. And the other one is about network infrastructure.
For example, if you
it goes in the 5G direction.
If you compare the RAMI architecture of Industry 4.0 with the Industrial Internet Consortium architecture, you will see a big difference, because in the RAMI one, which is more driven by, let's say, German
and very
manufacturers, there is one dimension on the processes on how to produce the product. And you look at the IIC, it's just there is data and you communicate the data, and then you analyze the data and you do something with it. You can see that they don't have a clue on how to produce.
Yes, but they are very fast too. So if they find a solution,
Tesla is using the same production plants that others are using for, even Mercedes ones. Right?
I agree. From an engineering point of view, you are totally right. But you know that not always the better products are successful on the market. I mean, if you walk through Brussels, you find Tesla offices. They sell their cars there. You don't find any Mercedes offices there that sell electric cars.
That's an open issue. We can discuss outside at the coffee break.
So, thank you again.
Thank you very much, especially to Frank. It was a great pleasure. Or it is a great pleasure.